Today, I'm reviewing the latest flagship Bluetooth earphones from Technics, the AZ100. The eco-friendly packaging doesn't have too much to comment on, so let's dive into the accessories. The charging case design continues from the previous generation, but the bevels are more pronounced, and the case is slightly thinner. Visually, it looks a lot smaller. However, the magnetic force when opening the lid is weaker than the previous model, even though I've been using it for a year and a half now. The feel is a bit loose and not as firm. The earbud housing has changed from a teardrop shape to a more rounded arc. They've also removed one external microphone for calls, and the length of the housing and the size of the in-ear part has been noticeably optimized and reduced, and the weight has been decreased by 0.4 grams. The nozzle has been reshaped from a round to an oval shape, which fits better in the ear canal. Overall, the fit has greatly improved compared to the previous generation, so it's definitely a big win in terms of comfort. Thanks to the optimized earbud housing design, the in-ear volume has been reduced, which naturally leads to a slight decrease in passive noise isolation. However, thanks to the upgraded chip algorithm in this new generation, active noise cancellation performance has improved, particularly in the mid to low frequency range, with a noise reduction boost of nearly 5 decibels. This is definitely worth praising. However, based on measurement results, the noise cancellation depth or average noise cancellation of the new model hasn't significantly improved compared to the previous AZ80, and still lags behind models like the AirPods Pro 2 and Sony's WF-1000 XM5. The main improvements of this new generation aren't in the specs, but rather in real-world experience and finer details. For example, the new adaptive mode automatically adjusts the noise-canceling strategy based on your ear shape and the surrounding environment. In louder human voice-dominant environments, it will switch to a mode that focuses more on reducing mid-range frequencies. This feature proves to be quite practical in everyday use. The ear tips of this generation are designed with a 3-layer structure, where the base part has been reinforced with a firmer material. The nozzle area around the earphones also features a locking mechanism, similar to the approach using the AirPods Pro 2 ear tips. This design helps prevent the low-frequency anti-phase sound waves generated by active noise cancellation from leaking out. Now, let's check out the actual performance.
We have two basic agenda items today. The first is to finish up briefly our discussion of punishment from last lecture. And the second is to start with the third unit of the course.
After testing with a professional dummy head microphone, we obtained the frequency response curve of the AZ100. It's clear that this model has a noticeable and even somewhat exaggerated low-frequency boost. While the previous generation, the AZ80, had a balanced sound base with slight boosts to both low and high frequencies, resulting in a sound that emphasized dynamics, clarity, and soundstage, with a slight emphasis on the extremes. This new generation sees those low frequencies take off. The gain has increased by nearly 10 decibels, which is equivalent of doubling the loudness. At the same time, the high frequencies are slightly reduced, which significantly affects the overall sound experience. Based on my subjective listening experience, the sound of this model feels overly muffled and constrained. The high frequencies are somewhat dull, and the texture of the strings, especially in violin, sounds thin, dry, and fragmented. The human voice has a lower throat positioning, with a noticeable aging in the tonal quality. The chest voice is not full, and the breathy tones are almost absent. High-pitched vocals are hard to reach, and the voice lacks penetration, often getting drowned out by low-frequency instruments. The low end is also underwhelming. While it's heavy on quantity, the quality is poor with weak throat hits and lack of punch. It's scattered and muddy. Overall, it feels like a souped-up version of the lower-end models from brands like Edifier, only suitable for music that emphasizes atmosphere, like hip-hop, pop, or classic hits. What's even more ridiculous is that when you turn on the noise cancellation or transparency mode, the sound quality deteriorates significantly. The low frequencies and mid-highs are weakened, and the mid-range develops a huge dip, making the sound feel warmer, muddier, and more in your ear. The different elements of the sound mix into a mess. While the previous AZ80 wasn't perfectly optimized in this regard either, the changes were minimal and didn't have a noticeable impact. But with the AZ100, the sound is nearly unbearable in both noise cancelling and transparency modes. I tried to save it a bit with the equalizer, but with only an 8-band EQ, I could only barely make it sound like this. If anyone already bought it, you can give it a try. It should improve the sound a little bit. The latency on the AZ100 hasn't seen significant improvements compared to the previous generation. In low latency mode, it barely manages to sync audio and video, making it okay for games that aren't too demanding in terms of delay. Although it supports LC3, the protocol's compatibility and adoption rate are still limited. Those who are familiar with it will truly understand its significance. The AZ100 has made significant improvements, although it has removed the external microphone from the previous generation. According to the product details and marketing, it now features an all-new AI-powered call noise cancellation chip, which should greatly enhance call quality. In terms of functional experience, the AZ100 excels. On top of its already detailed and rich set of features, it has added spatial audio with head tracking and a map-based earbud locator. These are very useful additions and certainly worth praising. Overall, compared to its predecessor, the AZ100 has refined almost every feature and detail, except for sound quality. As a pair of headphones, sound is the most fundamental and important aspect. After all, the previous AZ80 gained recognition and popularity mainly due to its exceptional audio performance. The first pair of headphones I gave an S rating to on this channel was the AZ80, which I purchased myself when the channel was just starting out. It was incredibly rewarding to share a lesser-known gem with more people and see it get the recognition it deserved. Now, a year and a half later, I find myself feeling disappointed with the AZ100, which was sent to me for review. I hope that a firmware update will address these issues and bring a new tuning, but honestly, I feel that it might not happen. Pros: excellent overall performance, significant improvements to comfort, full and detailed software features, excellent call quality. Cons: noticeable drop in sound quality. Sound quality deteriorates significantly when ANC or transparency modes are activated.